All right, hey guys, welcome to Monday Move where we enhance your asana. So sticking with the core theme, we are going to be working with Vasisthasana or side plank. So this pose is very similar to the first core pose that we worked with, plank pose, except we are going to be balancing on one hand. So some things that happen in this pose is I've talked about it a lot, bringing all that weight into the base of your wrist and not, distributing the weight through the entire diameter of your hand. The other thing is people can bring their weights, the weight bearing shoulder, they'll kind of dump into the shoulder. So you want to make sure you're pressing and keeping that shoulder nice and open. And the other thing, which kind of correlates to the dumping of the shoulders, is they're not lifting the hips nice and high to bring a little arc into the body. So let's kind of see how all that stuff looks and get into a nice strong side plank. So let's come onto our mats. So again, we want a nice wide diameter on our hands so the weight distributes through the entire circle instead of just the tiny circle of our wrist bone. So we're just going to plant our hand nice and firm, fingers nice and wide. And instead of bringing the weight into the wrist, roll it forward onto your root knuckles and finger pads. Next, again, so I'm not even in side plank yet, but what happens is we tend to dump into our shoulder and just let all of our body weight come into the base shoulder. So what you want to do is press your hand through the floor to create space between the shoulder and the ear. And then we also want to make sure that our elbow, the crease where we fold the elbow, we don't want that rolling into the body. We want that rolled out. So we come into a nice external rotation, which will lock the upper arm bone into the socket, helping to prevent injury. Okay, so that's the arm part of the pose. Nice wide base, fold of the elbow, that crease rolling away from you, and nice space between the shoulder and ear to help make the shoulder girdle strong. So now what we're going to do is step our legs out into plank pose. So when I talked about the hips, what I was talking about is people will let their hips sink. And again, you can kind of see how that automatically brings your weight more into the shoulder, which brings a lot more weight into the wrist. So squeeze those hips up high, press the floor away through your base hand, and then recruit the legs into the pose by squeezing your knees straight and squeezing your inner thighs together. And then top hand reaches up towards the sky. You can hold here 3, 5, 10 breaths. And then you can plant your top hand and find plank. Let's do that on the second side for a quick reminder, and then we will be good for the day. So again, base hand, plants, nice firm circle. Okay? Roll the elbow out. Press the floor away to create space between the shoulder and ear. You can just step the top leg out if you're still building strength to lift your hips. This is a great modification for those just starting out. Otherwise, take the other leg straight. Top hand to sky. I'm pressing into my root knuckles and finger pads, and I'm lifting my hips, and the crease of my elbow is facing away from me. My knees are squeezing straight and my inner thighs are squeezing in towards each other. And I'm breathing. You can look up towards your fingers for a little extra balance intensity. And then to come down, just plant the top hand, find plank, and come to your knees. All right. So that is Vasisthasana, plank pose. Wide hands. Roll the elbows out, but don't spin the hand with the elbow. It's only the elbow that's turning. Space between the shoulders and ears, lifting the hips, squeezing the knees, hugging the thighs together. All right, go out and try it and let me know how it goes. I will see you next week where we start to shift focus and work a little bit with the hips. All right, have a great day. I'll see you next week. Namaste.